The inability to choose between foods that include genetically engineered ingredients and foods that do not include them could easily be solved by including labels on foods that include genetically engineered ingredients. This would allow people to make informed decisions about what they eat. Think of products that you eat with corn, for instance. 90% of those products include herbicide that was sprayed on, as well as Bacillus thuringiensis, an insecticide that is built into the corn itself. And this is according to the USDA. Seed contamination is a big issue in regards to GMO foods. While health issues have been brought up by many anti-GMO activists, there are many studies that go back and forth saying whether or not health issues are a big issue. But what is a huge issue is the fact that farmers who grow organic and non-GMO crops can lose their certifications due to seeds getting mixed up and through the natural process of pollination, because the GMOs crops can crop up in places where they're not wanted. And other environmental concerns include the glyphosate that is sprayed on many of these crops, just like that with the helicopter in that picture, because that causes weed, the resistance to the herbicide to grow within the weeds, which then causes us to have to use stronger and stronger herbicides, which can be more and more toxic to the human body. And if eating foods that have GMOs means that we're eating toxic substances such as Bacillus thuringiensis or herbicides such as glyphosate, then wouldn't it make sense for consumers to be given the option to know whether or not the foods they're eating include these things? Only in the US and a few other countries do we not require labels. Because in countries such as Japan and Russia, they require labels. And this is probably because corporations know that consumers would not want to buy these labeled goods. And the Mellman Group says that 90% or 89% of Americans would want labels. And it's fairly common for small groups of people to be appeased for labels. For instance, a smaller amount of people have specific allergies, and they are given labels on all foods, and it is a requirement. And sulfites are given labels on wines and other foods as well. Yet 89% of Americans, according to the Mellman Group, want to have labels on their food regarding genetically engineered ingredients. And with the herbicide resistance becoming worse and worse every year that we keep using glyphosate, that can pose a potential future health risk. So, but even still, what we currently have is a large environmental risk and an ethics issue of not letting people know what is in their foods. So if we give people more knowledge of what they're eating, it will shift the market. When people see labels such as this, which have been approved for 2022 as mandatory in the United States, they will make decision, and the marketplace will choose what directions farmers will go when choosing whether to spray their crops with Roundup or glyphosate or not. And if the corporations are correct about what consumers want, this will mean we'll have more diverse farming methods as well as more diverse choices in the foods themselves, such as landrace crops, which is also known as heirloom crops. So if you want to avoid GMOs in the meantime, before the 2022 mandatory labels, you can buy organic, or you could buy non-GMO food label, non-GMO certified foods, or you could grow your own foods. So thank you very much.